You know that feeling when a photo memory pops up on your phone? For a second you look at it and you go, wow, I would like to look like that again. I've caught myself doing this more often in recent years. I mean, my body has changed and I just feel this pull to want to go back to the way I used to look. So one day I was looking at a photo and I remembered this. I remembered being in that body, that photo being taken at the time, and not feeling happy with myself. I was critical of myself, still picking it apart, still trying to fix it. So that body, the one I now look and think is perfect, I was at war with her the whole time. So I asked myself this question: what are you trying to go back to? If I had my old body back, would I actually be happy? Or would I still be finding something that needs to be fixed? And I think we know the answer to that. This video is for every woman in perimenopause that feels like her body is working against her, who's tried harder but got less, who is exhausted from chasing a version of herself which, to be honest, didn't make her as happy as she remembers. I'm not going to give you a list of things to fix. I'm going to give you something more useful. A complete shift in the question you're asking. Because the question most of us are asking, how do I get back, is the wrong question. And asking the wrong question is exactly why nothing is working. So here's what I mean. When you look at an old photo, that ache, that longing to go back to your old body, you're not actually wishing for that body. What you're wishing for is for a day where you don't have to think about your body at all, where you just live in it, move through the world in it, without the running commentary, without the negotiation. That's the freedom you're reaching for. But it is easy to forget. It's easy to forget that back then you did not have that freedom either. You've been there, I've been there, standing in perfectly good bodies, but still feeling like it's not enough. The goalpost was always moving. It didn't start in perimenopause. It's been moving your whole life. Perimenopause just made it more obvious because now the body is changing in ways you can actually feel. The cravings, the lack of sleep, the mood swings, the stress that just doesn't clear the way that it used to. And so it feels like you've lost something. But what if we haven't lost anything? What if, instead of trying to find your way back, we ask this question instead? What does my body respond to now? That question brings us back into relationship with ourselves. And that is the goal. Not to go back, but to evolve. And evolution doesn't go backwards, it moves forward to something that works better in that current environment. That's what we're doing here. Every shift that has genuinely moved the needle for me has not been physical. It's been mental. Because that's where the real problem lives, in an overstimulated, overwhelmed, over-informed mind that is too exhausted to see or hear what your body is actually asking for. And stick with me for the last shift, because 6 months ago, I couldn't have done it. I wouldn't have been ready. So there's already enough education out there on perimenopause. The changes in our hormones we know affect our stress, sleep, cravings, blood sugar, mood swings, weight loss, weight gain. We know all that. But then there's also the added stuff, like the advice. Do this. No, actually do that. Fast, but don't fast like that. Do this instead. Eat protein, but eat the right protein. Take this supplement. Actually, no, that doesn't work anymore. Try this instead. You know where I'm going with this. It's relentless, it is conflicting, and it creates one outcome: overwhelm. And I got sick of it. So I decided I'm shutting it out. I dramatically reduced how much I consumed. Because when your mind is overloaded, you will feel it more in your body. And guess what happened when I reduced the noise? I could finally listen to my own signals. I could tell the difference between tired and hungry, stress and appetite, the difference between pushing harder and knowing when to stop. I loved the effect of consuming less. So I decided to take this one step further. I incorporated silence into my daily morning walks. So I'd go for a walk, and I've been doing this for 3 years now. Not plugged into anything, no podcasts, no YouTube videos, no trying to just listen to something so I'm trying to be productive and efficient. No music, no one else's opinions, just me and my thoughts. And the benefit is simple: clarity. Clarity. That's what you need in perimenopause. I come home clear-headed because I've given my mind the space to process, not just consume. I stopped starting my day with other people's fears, other people's urgencies, other people's prescriptions on how I should take care of my body. And that has done more for my nervous system than any supplement I've ever taken. Because more information does not help when you're overloaded. It paralyzes you. So one of the most powerful things you can do right now in perimenopause is to take care of your mental space. Like it is the most valuable thing you own. Because it is. I want to show you something. These are pictures of me doing yoga when I was in my 20s and 30s. The focus was headstands, deep back bends, inversions, arm balancing postures, poses that just looked impressive, made me feel strong and capable in my body. I was proud of these poses. I'm not dismissing them. They had a place. But my practice has evolved a lot since then. This is what my yoga now looks like. A lot of basic joint movements, mobility stuff, still infused with some strength, but just very different from what it was like in my 20s. It's not that I can't do those poses anymore or that I have injured myself, thankfully not, but it's more so that my body is just craving something different. Movements that are soothing for my joints, movements that support my nervous system, mobility movements that build strength in my joints and muscles without me having to pay the price later. And I'm okay with it. I'm surprisingly happy with it because I feel good in my body. And I feel like this is what yoga was all about anyway. Not the poses, the steadiness, that balance between effort and ease, and that space to come back to yourself. I don't feel like I'm regressing. I actually feel like I'm going deeper. My sleep is so much better these days, and I didn't get there through supplements. I will say that I do take magnesium and I find that it helps to support deep sleep, but I got to this point because of boundaries. I don't go to bed with my phone. I don't wake up with my phone. Last year, I bought an old school alarm clock, and now I leave my phone outside of my room when I go to bed. I know this sounds too simple, but we also hear it a lot. Don't go to bed with your phone. If you're lying awake at 11 p.m. with a screen feeding your nervous system, right, stimulating it with other people's highlight reels, breaking news, and just feeding anxiety, no amount of supplement is going to fix that. The clock costed me $12. The sleep I got back is worth more than I can calculate. This one is simple, but it is huge for me. I donated the clothes. You know the ones that sit in the back of our wardrobe, hoping that we will fit into it one day. The ones that hang there as a quiet reminder that your body is a problem that still needs to be worked on. So I gave them away. The moment I did it, I stopped dressing for a future body. I started dressing for the one I actually live in. There is a thread through every single one of these shifts. All of them are about the same thing. ruthlessly protecting the mind. So I reduce the noise, I protected the space. And have I lost weight? No, not really. My body is still changing, and the perimenopause fluctuations are still here. But I turned 44 last month, and when I sat with it, like really sat with it, I realized something. This is the happiest I have ever been in my body. Not the thinnest, not the most toned, not even the version of myself when I was in my 30s, like 5 years ago. The happiest though, because I'm finally, for the first time, here in this body. That woman in the old photo was standing there in a perfectly good body, still thinking she wasn't enough. I'm not going to waste another decade on that. And I don't think you should do that either. You're not going back. You're going somewhere better. If this hits home, you're in the right place. This is what I teach. Fewer rules, more rhythm, and just feeling at home in your body in this season. Subscribe and tell me in the comments what's been the hardest change for you. Is it your sleep, your moods, your cravings, your energy, or stress?